I'm Larry Kalvik, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. Feel free to give us a call at 612-504-8400 or havenfinancialgroup.com. Set up a time to come in and visit with us. No strings attached. There is no cost. You may find it extremely informative. We go through the same proprietary process with everybody. You get to know us. We get to know you. When we talk retirement, whether younger, older, in retirement, it's never too early to have the conversation.
So it's never too early to have the conversation that we're about to have as well, Larry. And that's one of the one of the really expensive periods of individuals' lives are those times when we're paying for our kids to go to college. And boy, you've got 4, I have 2, and mine were, 4 years and then the next 4 years. So we had 8 straight. And I know that you've had overlap. These are expenses that I think we as parents are happy to pay, but people must be prepared for this because these expenses have gotten crazy.
College costs are through the roof. And of course, and I might be dating myself a little bit, but back when I went to my first 4 years at Bethel College, way different than it is today, like all colleges are. And first of all, I think it's the mindset has changed a lot. The younger generation potentially enabling them, the idea that parents should automatically pay for all of college. I think it's first to reflect individually and personally. My wife and I had differences on this because I'm big into skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go to college, you got to pay for some of it yourself. You got to have some skin in the game. Otherwise, you just take it for granted. So I would say set some clear goals up front. Are you going to pay for a part of it, all of it? Can you pay for all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to damper your retirement by doing this? Is it the right thing to do? Is it not the right thing to do? In-state versus out-state, but just compounding interest, whether it's college or investments and retirement, the longer the time frame, the longer it can build. By starting early, it can reduce the stress of, oh my goodness, our kids are going in 2 years, and if you started early, and maybe it's not you as the parent starting early, which you could be, but maybe the grandparents, if they're going to contribute, or rather than give them some silly gifts or some things that there might not be any real meaning to it, maybe it makes sense to, talk and communicate with grandparents or loved ones, say, maybe contributing to a college plan, maybe college funds, maybe that is a good option. But again, college is a major expense. And, a lot of college graduates, they leave with some serious debt, and that's problematic as well.
Sure, absolutely. Well, this discussion is relevant for, I think, this radio show for a couple of different reasons, and you've hit on them. The first would be that we, as parents, want to make sure that we are protecting our retirement, not spending it on our kids going to college. So that idea of starting early and saving early so that it doesn't get, to you're 50 years old and your kids are going off to college and suddenly you're taking, anywhere from, who knows, from 45 to 75 or $80,000 a year out of your retirement fund. And then the second part of that, obviously, Larry, is that there can be benefits it seems, for grandparents who maybe want to get involved in this. So can you address and talk to that?
Yeah, first of all, some tools that people do use for college planning. People 529 plans. There's tax advantages and more flexibility with that. It can be invested, and if you're younger, maybe more risk is relevant, and that's fine because of the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 529 plans. You got UGMA and UTMA type of accounts. They're not as tax efficient. They might have flexibility, but not as tax efficient, and it all comes back to the tax benefits. We're back to the tax conversation. Sure. You want to maximize those tax benefits, and there's state-specific deductions. Maybe there's some other options that would be tax-free for the withdrawals. Maybe the tax credits that are out there, working with somebody, they can point that out. But, I think of one, the American Opportunity Tax Credit. You want to maximize those tax benefits. And one that I think I think is probably the most effective for college planning is using the Roth IRA for college planning. You know, a dual purpose, not only for retirement if it's not used, or education. So the Roth can be very effective for that type of planning. But what I'm going to encourage the listeners to not do not sacrifice your retirement savings for college funds and college debt. As much as we want to help those kids out and loved ones, et cetera, don't sacrifice your retirement. You know, do you have to pay for all your kids' college? Now, any of the kids listening would say, Larry, you better say yes. But I'm going to say, no, you don't have to. And again, retirement comes quicker. So I'm all about education, certainly. And we do lots of education. I encourage younger generations to be educated. But at what expense? You know, I had a gentleman in, one of the grandkids of one of our clients from Elko Newmarket here not too long ago. He was 23. He went into the trades. Again, college isn't for everybody, and he was making good money. He was saving money at 23. We gave him some good advice, and he was so appreciative. So I encourage, again, being proactive. Yeah, student loan are options, but, you know, how does that factor into your overall strategy? Can it? Should it? So really think these things through, but do not jeopardize your retirement for that.
Do you find, Larry, that a lot of your younger clients who come in, and I might be talking about folks in their late 30s, are they worried about college savings, and do you help them set up plans?
Yes, some are worried. Some are better planners. Some have set aside the money. Others have not. And sometimes it's not because they did anything wrong. Life happened. They ran into health issues. You know, life's calendar doesn't always cooperate with our calendar.
Right.
So sometimes, yeah, we got to be disciplined with saving and doing what we need to. But sometimes, you know, it's out of our hands. So, you know, sometimes we shouldn't be as hard on ourselves as we should be. Hey, if you have the ability to help out with those college costs, great. Set some goals, start early. But again, at the end of the day, don't put yourself into so much debt, because I see grandkids and kids coming out of college with so much debt, and then they have a hard time finding a job in the arena or
Right.
what they went to college for, and that's not a good recipe either. So again, good decisions.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that you have lots of grandparents who come in and say, I'd like to help with my grandchildren's education. You know, maybe their parents are not in a position to do so. And then I'm assuming you advise them as well.
Absolutely. You know, we're big into the education piece. We're not going to steer them into yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't. But if it's important, here's the areas, here's the tax ramifications, here's what we think you should do if this is your goal. And again, making sure that you're looking at all the options and you're getting the benefits from what you're doing, both personally and from a financial standpoint.
So, Larry, today, much of our show has been really about taxes. So, in retrospect, I asked you this in the last segment. You know, what do you think are the biggest mistakes? The number one mistake that you hope people don't make. But overall, what is the message when it comes to retirees and taxes that you hope people will take away from the show?
The takeaway is I hope they're working with somebody that is giving them the attention they deserve in all these retirement areas, not just a meeting once a year. Retirement is more to it than that. If that's all you're getting, you're not getting what you're paying for. You know, as it relates to all the retirement puzzle pieces, having a partner to lean on, and that's the biggest benefit for those that work with Haven Financial Group, and I'm sure others too, to some degree, is right now we have folks that are coming in. It's Medicare annual enrollment. From that can lead to the tax discussions. It's fourth quarter, and tax planning is so important, and that could lead into, does the Roth conversions make sense? As a reminder to listeners, it is the fourth quarter. Time is of the essence to do these things. Do you need any withdrawals, any distributions? Again, I mentioned earlier about RMDs, inherited RMDs, these things that need to be done by the end of the year. Simple reminder that if you don't know, give us a call. Make sure you do know, because sometimes there's penalties and taxes associated with not knowing, and putting all these pieces to the puzzle together. But I would say not getting the attention they deserve for what they're paying. And people should know what they're paying. There should be no surprises today. We encourage our folks that we work with, when in doubt, pick up the phone. When in doubt, set an appointment. I always say there's no quota as to how many times we can get together. Getting together creates confidence, and confidence can lead to a very, very fun and successful retirement.
Absolutely. 612-504-8400. That's the number you call to reach the folks at Haven Financial Group. And you can set up a free consultation. Larry has reminded you this is the fourth quarter. 612-504-8400. You can also go to havenfinancialgroup.com. Lots to think about today, Larry.
Lots to think about. Soon the election hopefully is over. We'll have another retirement conversation here soon. Always good to be with you again. 612-504-8400. Have a great week, Kim.
You too, Larry.